Live. Hey guys, we just finished our morning walk, so thanks for joining us. And today we wanted to really go over.
Text your friend.
Oh, I gotta let one of my friends know that we're on. It's still kind of early. Let me see. So right now in the Philippines, it is 10:40 a.m. So it must be, I don't know what time it is. In the let me see what time. I don't know what time it is in California. If anybody wants to let me know, we'll put it into the chat. Oh, okay.
Look at that. I'm gonna look like I do my hair just for this live. Look at that. Whoop.
Yeah, who's this girl? Okay, see, this is a girl who reached out to me. Do you know her? She said, "Is this you?" And she shows your name. She has our house address, and it says like when you were a kid.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So interesting. Do you know who this girl is? She's reaching out to us. I don't know who she is. She's my friend on Facebook.
Oh well, she found you through me.
Yeah, she found you
Yes.
through me.
No. She's friends with you because of me, girl.
Well, I don't know who she is. Like I've never met her in my whole life. And she's got my husband's address when he was a kid, so that's kind of interesting.
I think we served in that program.
So you know her?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I just looked at that face. Yeah, that's me. I would just say this is his.
This is his wife.
But yes, I asked him. That's him.
I asked, and it's him. Hey guys. Okay, so anyways, people reaching out to us on Facebook, and I have no idea who they are. They know him though. So, hey, there's two people here. You're welcome to hit the like button. Thank you so much for joining us. Today we are going to talk about some of the hardest things that we've dealt with since being here, kind of like the transition, the struggles that we've had with our move to the Philippines. Hi, Fresh. How are you? She said, "Kumusta na kayo?" We are great. I've been working on my Tagalog, and it sounds like I know how to say like a lot of things, but I know how to say "magkano po," and so I'm always asking people like, "How much is that?" And today for breakfast, we went to the bakery, and we walked down the street to the bakery. They have their own like real full-fledged real bakery, and so we're able to get some of the best foods. This is like a fried. She said it's been a while since she's been on or that she's seen us. So thank you. Yes, we're gonna keep it strong. We try to do like a live daily, but sometimes we're so tired we can't get one. But that's okay.
All right. So
this is a fried donut with sugar on the outside, and inside it has ham and like a sweet syrup. So it's like a ham donut.
She's a foodie.
Yeah. And I'm sure that the ants are going to come finding this one in our office. So, what did you want to talk about? I know with the struggles. Did you want to start with your struggles or should I?
I don't know. It's kind of dark.
He's trying to figure out the lighting right now.
Dark in here.
Yeah. We just finished. How many miles did we just finish? And my workout.
3 miles or something like that.
3.5 miles. So that's nice. We try to get like 5 miles in a day. It's okay, babe. Come on. There's 3 people here. We'll talk to them. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but outside they got the political people driving back and forth, and we can hear it really loud in our house. That's one of my first struggles that I would talk to you guys about is like the loud music, the loud cars. They've got these poppers out here. These kids have like these poppers that you swing around, and it makes like a gunshot noise. And so, yeah, she says she can hear it. She can hear the oh, there we go. Studio lighting.
Studio lighting, guys. It's a lot better now.
It's actually a flashlight. But so that's the thing. Like one of my struggles is all the noise. You hear roosters at 3 a.m. You hear like the cars, the motorcycles. And it seems to me, can we close this door?
Yeah.
It seems to me like there's no noise ordinance. You know, like there is no noise ordinance. You've got people singing karaoke all hours of the night, and then you like wake up at 5 a.m. and you hear all this voting and stuff happening, right? People are running around trying to get you to vote, and so you hear their little jingle every morning, and it's just like super loud. But I thought there was gunshots happening in the neighborhood, but it wasn't gunshots. Hi, Robert. It was those kids like swinging around this like thing of cans, and it shoots out like what sounds like a bullet, but it's just like I just heard it right now. One just went off.
Yeah, so basically these kids have figured out how to make a bang, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so what they do is connect like a whole bunch of cans together to make it like about between 2 to 3 feet wide. Not necessarily cans, could be a bottle, and then they put lighter fluid, something flammable in there. And so what happens is when you put the lighter fluid in there, they move it around, right? Now there's a whole bunch of gas in there, and they put the like a lighter match on there. And of course, right? There's combustion that happens, and it makes that pop sound. It's basically using science, right, to make boom. It's the same thing that happens in a combustion engine. And so you see these kids sometimes they put too much of that flame of that
Lighter,
fuel,
yeah,
the lighter fluid in
fuel.
there, right? And they're putting air into it. They're blowing air into it. They're putting oxygen in there because the more oxygen you have, the more combustion you have. So there you go.
Yeah, but it's loud. It sounds like a gunshot.
Yeah, I learned that from Bill Nye, the science guy. I don't know if you guys remember that guy from back in the day.
Well, I mean, I really thought it was gunfire, and I was like, dang, who's popping? Like, who is firing, and where are they shooting at?
It does sound
Where
like
are they shooting at?
Sound like a gunshot.
And he's like, oh, it might be a carburetor or something. I'm like, it's happening way too much all the time for it to be somebody's car. And it's happening in the same spot. So then we went walking and we were able to see these kids like swinging around these big, long, they look like telescopes made out of cans. But so that's what's going on over here in the Philippines, like for fun, but it's really loud and it hurts my ears. It really does hurt my ears. I don't like it. So we talked about my first one. Did you want to
go ahead? So today, what we're going to talk about is basically some of the struggles we've had. Right? And so there's a list. We have a list of struggles that we've had to deal with here in the Philippines, and I think that it'd be interesting for you guys to know. So if you are willing to come out here and you're planning to come out here, I think it's important for you to know some of the struggles that she has as a foreigner and some of the struggles I have, right, as somebody coming back here in the Philippines. I've lived here before, and I think that it will give you some type of idea of some of the things that you're going to see here.
You're going to encounter.
Yeah.
So for instance, my number one biggest problem, I have it every day, is bugs. The bugs are they really bother me. Like they bite me, they land on my skin, even if it's like a fly. I could be cooking or I could be like washing the clothes and I have flies land on my legs and it really bothers me. And so like some of the things I've done to try and like combat this is we bought like a fly zapper.
Let me go get it.
It's a bug zapper. And like I'll hold on to it and just like swing around trying to kill anything that is like trying to get on me. It looks like this. It has this power button here, and so you know it's working when it turns green. And it shoots electricity, and no, don't do that. That's gross.
Got him.
But so we are like
it would shock you. I think it would shock me if I put my
it shocks. It shocks the animal that I mean I'll kill all kinds of stuff with that. I can kill ants with it, I can kill flies, anything spiders. So there's a lot of bugs out here. And I don't want them on my skin. I don't want them like laying eggs on my skin or pooping on my body. It's just like, it really bothers me. Last night we went somewhere and I got bit by a bunch of mosquitoes while we were there. And I know he was getting bit by mosquitoes. He's like, can we hurry up and get out of here? Like, mosquitoes are eating me. And yeah, for me, my biggest struggle is flies or bugs in general. Right now, I swear we have a whole colony of ants inside of our vehicle. And so it doesn't matter, like, you could have it all sealed, have things clean. You're still going to have these bugs come into the house or get into your car. We're constantly killing bugs. And yesterday I was trying to kill an ant that was on the computer screen, but I couldn't even touch
Of the car.
Right. So like, you know how there's the display on the car, and I could see an ant crawling in there, and I was pushing on it. It wasn't on this side of the glass. It was on the other side where the screen is. So I couldn't even kill it. And as we're driving, more and more ants are falling out of like the middle of like where the computer stuff is.
The console.
The console, and you can watch them. You can see them. I see them carrying little crumbs somewhere, and so I'm like killing them. You know. So it's just a sense of struggle for me. It's just all the ants.
I would have to agree with that because like Hero and I, we went to the bread place, right?
Mm. Oh,
and we
yeah.
went to one bread place. They had nice, beautiful
They've
bread.
got a lot of selection.
Right, they had a lot of selection. They looked very tasty. Unfortunately, the casing was inside had flies all over it. They were
Like
big,
filled with flies.
huge,
Juicy flies.
like these flies were not hungry, right? They were full.
Yeah.
And
Off
so my
that
son
bread.
is like,
I don't wanna
can we
eat
go
there.
somewhere else,
Uh-huh.
right? My son's like, can we go somewhere else? So yeah, I agree. That is kind of a struggle, and she's right. Last night we did go to a place, and the mosquitoes were just eating me up. You guys know, we were by Lakeshore. We were at Lakeshore.
There's a water.
Merry Christmas water
Mhm.
park thingy, and you guys know mosquitoes and water, they go hand in hand. And so we
Mhm.
were near the water. There was a lot of mosquitoes there. It was a lot of people, but it was a lot of fun. But there was a lot of mosquitoes. I was getting bit. I was like, oh, let's get out of here.
Yeah.
It was time to go. It was like 10 o'clock, 10:30 almost. Yeah. And the kids were sweaty. They were tired. They were about like they've been playing around for like an hour and a half to 2 hours. They were running around with other kids. And so it was time to go. These guys were so hot when they got inside the car. They took off. They were wearing their undergarments inside the
Mhm.
car
Yeah,
because
they were so hot.
They're like, we need to get out of here. My daughter, she used up like half of the baby wipes.
Oh
Just
yeah.
to like
Trying to
wipe
give
herself
herself a
down.
bath.
Yeah, give herself a
And
bath.
it's like, you know, like it's hot here. Sure. We got here at the hottest part of the year, but I can handle the heat. It's these bugs that are really bothering me. And like, we have a clean house. There's millipedes crawling across the floor. And like, I can like shoo them out because I know that they also eat bugs. So I kind of like them. But at the same time, it's just like, ugh, they are a bug themselves. So it's just bugs everywhere.
So with the bugs, what do you have to do on a daily basis to kind of
I'm
combat
constantly
that?
having to like spray, like, you know, a layer of kill like around like the poison everywhere. I do that. I have to wash dishes before I go to bed. There cannot be any dishes in the sink because if I do, I'll have a whole colony in the morning. I have to throw out all the trash. And I have to throw the trash out all before the end of the night and make sure no trash in the house whatsoever.
And you have to be careful outside too.
Oh, there's
With
tons
the
of
trash, with the
tons.
trash.
There's tons of bugs already. The trash
Yeah.
is my it's kind of like that place where I have made a sacrifice to the animals because now they have a localized place, centralized place that they can go to find the food as opposed to coming into my house at different angles. So now they can just kind of like go to the trash area.
But my problem with that is like if you take a trash bag and put it on top of dirt, the ants will crawl up and they'll make a colony under the trash can. So every week there's like a new colony going in and out.
Mm-hmm.
Number one. Number two, So if you're near the farm, you're gonna get farm rats, right? And we've had a couple of rats in our trash, like huge. Okay, that's number two. Number three, not just farm rats, but you'll also get the cats that are in the neighborhood come over, and they can smell it. Cats can climb up. I don't know if they're after the rat, but cats. We've had how many different types of cats have we seen?
I have
in the
like 3 or
past?
4 cats with them.
Yeah, they're all over
House in
there
the
by
night.
a trash can. So we are forced to buy a trash bin.
We
Like
bought a trash bin.
we did not just buy a trash bin.
We bought two trash bins.
Okay, she went a little crazy. This is a trash bin lady. Hey, what is going? Hey, what up? Party. I don't know. It's this system is like.
It's funny because you do like
doing
little
all kinds
hand
of stuff.
things, and then something happens. But anyways,
Yeah. So we bought a couple of trash bins, and we're learning to put things in the trash bin. And we have a guy coming over and picking up the
yeah, and we have to do our
on a
trash on
weekly
a
basis.
specific way.
Yeah.
It must go into trash bags. It must be tied, and then you can put it in the trash can.
Mhm.
It's not the way it was in the States where I can just like throw things in there. No.
The trash man comes over with a dumpster. No, the trash man
Is a trash
is
a
a dude
man.
is the man that we're paying to get our trash and take it to the dump.
Right.
But he's not. I don't think that's his job. It's not his job.
It's like
just
a
something
side
a
gig
side
he
hustle that he
does.
does. Right, side hustle that he does, and he.
It's pretty lucrative because he
asks-
charges us we kind of pay him a little more than
Yeah.
because he asks everyone else for 25 piso a sack, and I know for a fact that we could probably only fill up 2 sacks with 50 pesos. But he comes over, he picks up all our leaves too. Like he's picking up more than just the trash itself. And he'll take like the branches and the trees and everything else. Like so there's like random stuff, and I guess it's worth it. Like we're paying him. It's like not our problem anymore. It's he's gonna handle it. So it's kinda like give and take here.
Yeah, for sure. But guy's good. So that's what else? Okay, I wrote some stuff down here. Let me look at my notes. You talked about the dishes already. All right, so empty trash cans. So locations, right? So we have to pick a certain location for the animals to go over there and kind of gather, but we're taking away their food because now we have a trash bin.
Yeah.
So now no more cats here at the house. If cats are here, that means that there's rats around the area.
Also, if you leave lights on, the bugs will gravitate to the light.
Yes.
So then, so you got to keep some lights off, or you're gonna have like massive amounts of bugs just flying around the lights, and it's gross, you know.
Yeah. I want to kind of like do an experiment and buy a bug zapper and see how much bugs.
How many zaps you get?
How many zaps?
Zap.
Yeah.
That's
For the
cool.
bug zapper. Okay, so what else? So that's her struggle is finances. I would say it doesn't bother me all that much.
You said finances.
No. The bugs. The bugs
Oh, but you
doesn't
said
bother me all.
finances. Okay, all right. Sorry.
Are you done?
Yes,
You
I'm
done?
done.
See, I won that one. I win, yay! Okay, so for me, the bugs don't bother me all that much, right? But I have to deal with it. I'll just deal with it. I'll just move out of the way or whatever. Okay, enough said. Go ahead.
You said finances.
Finances. Do you have struggles with finances?
I've had major struggles with finances. Only because, okay, so having gone from the US where I can save every month, and like, let's say like we get our checks, we save. That's the first thing we do is save. We pay all our bills, save money, right? When we were here, I still have to pay all my bills. I even have bills in the States. Like we've got house bills, insurance, phone bills. Like we've still got bills in the States. And so when we come here, we get our checks and we have to pay these bills. But on top of that, now we have these new expenditures because and then we're not saving any money. So then that's like a big struggle for me is like, I am not used to not saving money.
Can you clarify your checks because we're not getting checks?
Right. So here's the thing, like we were working.
So it's our last check.
We were working in the States, right? But here now we get our retirement checks and that's fine. So when you get it, like you're not getting enough, like you used to, where you could save, right? And so you're kind of like living within what you make, what comes in. And we don't get any more of those checks. And as a matter of fact, those last checks got lost in the mail. So it took us like months and months to try and track down any kind of like funds that we had. So it really did put a burden on us. Yeah.
What else? Think about finances.
I mean, so when we first moved here, I didn't expect us to do all those upgrades on the house. I thought we were just gonna like come here, settle in, be cool, But as soon as we got here, he's like, we're changing this, we're changing that, we're doing this, we're doing that. And I was just like, we're not saving any money whatsoever. Like if you were gonna move to the Philippines and save money because you were here, we weren't saving any money because we were here. That was like the struggle.
I agree, right? So what else though? Like there's for this last 60 days, I think that finances has been a burden. But what else has happened for the last 60 days that has caused some financial burden?
I mean, I know buying the car, it wasn't like you got to this Philippines, we took out a whole new loan. Like we took out a big loan for a car here. And so like, sure, I got rid of the car there, but when we got here, we picked that up right away. Within 17 days, we now had a car. And then...
Oh, it's not just that. No, it's like, first, because we couldn't get a car, we had to get a motorcycle.
Mm-hmm.
So we got a motorcycle. Now we have a car.
Mm-hmm.
Those are financial expenses. Okay, what else? What else happened in the U.S.?
What else happened in the U.S.?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. What?
What else did you have to pay for?
Oh, well, we had an appliance breakdown in the U.S. that we had to pay for. And then, like, we're trying to get our house rented, but our house had some expenditures as well.
Yeah, so just to give some perspective on that, right, the appliance is an AC unit, right? So if you know how much it is to replace a whole AC unit, it's pretty expensive,
mm-hmm.
right?
And that was just like, I got a phone call just out of the blue, and I was like, oh, dang. So then we had to pay for that, like, immediately. Mm-hmm. Because if you don't have those things, then your house is not up to par for rent.
Mm-hmm. What else? What else came?
I don't know. What? I don't know, babe. I can't read your mind.
Taxes.
Oh, yeah, we forgot about the taxes.
You forgot about the taxes.
We didn't. Okay, so taxes were pushed off to the 18th. To October. And so, like, we really didn't, like, stay on top of that. Like, I know I had a CPA. I know I asked her to do it. But then it just came out of the blue. It was like October was here, and we owed all these taxes. So, yeah, that was interesting, too. Yeah.
You can tell people how much you owed on taxes or no?
No.
Yeah,
no, lots.
I think you already...
If you caught the live where we talked about it...
She talked about how much taxes we owed.
Yeah, we owed.
This is not how much we paid into it already. This is in addition to
taxes.
How much we already paid into it. Okay, what else? What else is a financial struggle for you?
It was just kind of like transitioning from what we're used to doing when we go shopping to what we now need to do when we go shopping. So like, because we used to have like these massive incomes, like we could just go to Costco, which is like the store where we usually spend all our money. We could go to Costco and we could just like get whatever we needed for the month or the week, right? Then you just go there. I mean, there's nothing that's gonna like break you. You go there, fill up your shopping cart, good to go. Well, that first time we came here, like we legit did that, and I was like, oh, we don't make as much as we used to. Ouch, this really hurt. And so we had to change the way we spend, or at least change the way we act with finances, because we are not in the same like position to be doing stuff like that like we did in the States.
We make a fraction of what we used to put in the United States.
Yeah.
Okay, but that's what happens when you retire in your 30s.
Yeah, there's some adjustment period, right?
That's what happens when you
fine.
retire in your 30s, okay?
Yeah.
That's what happens, all right? So these are the things that we're struggling with. But because of your financial, now this is her list, not mine. This is her list. Because of your struggle with finances, did you have to cut corners?
I never cut any corners, but I did sell some stock. Which, you know what, we sold some stock when it was up. Right now, the stock market is down. I was looking, I was like, hey, it's a great time to buy. Not quite where it used to be when I bought in, so that's great. So we would have stayed up, made profit had we sold it today, or when it's the weekend, so you can't really sell. But yeah, I ended up selling some stock just so I could cover our costs.
This is not financial advice, right? It's not financial advice. We're not trying to tell you to buy in the stocks. But while we're there, what stock did you sell?
I sold some Tesla stock, guys. So I'm still sitting on double digits for Tesla. That's not a thing. But we did end up having to sell some, and we sold it when it was a little higher. So we did make a little bit of a profit. But whatever I put into that was it was put in there for our startup fund. So I didn't feel like totally bad about selling the stock. I kept telling him like, hey, I'm gonna have to sell some stock. Hey, I'm gonna sell some stock. And so he's like, he tells me, he turns to me, he says, don't sell stock. And I'm like, no, I'm selling the stock. And so I finally did. And I felt like I could take a little bit of a breather because we just sold some stock. But at the same time, he was like, oh, you shouldn't have sold it. But I sold it when it was higher.
Yeah. So it's one of those like conversations that we had, right, as a couple, right? Every couple struggles, I'm sure, financially, right? So she asks me a question and I told her not to sell it. Hindsight, right? Because now our checks,
we
our
finally
last checks, we
got
received the
them.
last checks. So did we need to sell the stocks? No, we didn't.
Probably not.
No. We didn't need to sell the stocks, right? So, but sometimes your wife doesn't listen to you and she learns these lessons, but it's okay. It's all right. All right. But I'll tell you something though. All right. This is not financial advice. This is just something for your noggin right here. Tesla is probably the best choice for her to sell. Why? Because Tesla does not make dividends at all, right? If you don't understand what dividends are, then I don't have time to explain it to you.
Go read.
Go read the stock market. Read. But Tesla, you just hold it, and if the price goes up, then you sell it at the higher price. If the price goes down, that's when you buy. Okay, so good thing that we sold Tesla when it was higher. Okay, so but if you have stocks that are ETFs, right?
Just leave them.
Or you're in the index funds, S&P 500 or anything like that. Hold.
So like for instance, I know we're going into like La La Land here, but like for instance, if you're thinking about a stock that has like merit and weight, Apple is great because it's like the #1 company in the world. It gives a dividend, and right now it's up, but it's always kind of like stayed up, and so it's a great stock to have.
Yeah, it is. So stock is always good, but then again, it's a gamble. But whatever, just don't. I have a gentleman, right? His name is Manuel, and he gave me some stock advice when I was in my 20s, right?
He's a captain.
Hello, captain. He retired captain in the military. He also retired from the state hospital, and he was also a correctional officer.
Oh yeah,
I respect this guy. Yeah. Right. When he retired,
so he talked to him about stocks when we were young.
Yeah. When he retired from the military, when he retired from the state, I cried. I freaking cried because it was for me. It tugged at my heart a little bit because. At work, he was like my father figure. Whenever I'm bored.
So he's your mentor.
Yeah, he was my mentor. And so whenever I'm bored, I'm like always talking to him, picking his brain. Now this guy, he's like in his 60s.
Yeah, right? Almost 70s.
Older. And you know what? He played Call of Duty. Okay. He played Call of Duty. He was like one of the guys. Okay.
Yeah.
And this guy was amazing. Anyways, right? When he retired, I cried a little bit. Because like a few years before that, my father passed away. And if you are the oldest man, right, if you're a male in a Filipino culture, you have to stand strong, at least from my perspective, right? My mom was distraught. My sisters were both falling apart. My little brother was in a wheelchair, right, because he was trying to go pro paintball, but then he hurt his femur, like he broke his femur or something like that. And yeah, I didn't always during my father's funeral, I didn't have an opportunity to have an emotional breakdown or emotional outburst. And for me, my mind is kind of like protects me from myself, I guess. Like it puts the trauma in the back of my head. And I guess that's kind of like how I made it through Iraq and Afghanistan and all the combat tours I've been to. But when this guy retired, right, I was driving to work and the waterworks just was like, I was like, oh snap! Like I couldn't, I had to call in sick that day because what I attached it to is that him retiring was like the same thing as my father passing away. Like I was holding on to grief for that long, and then I was able to grieve that day. I had to go home. I had to take the day off. I was like, hey man, I can't make it to work. I'm emotionally distraught, and it's not going to be good at work. So whatever. So yeah, this guy, his name is Manuel, gave me some great financial advice. I asked him, I was like, "How much have you lost?" And he's like, in one day, he's like hundreds. I was like, hundreds of dollars? He's like, no, hundreds of thousands. I was like, oh my gosh, dude, that's a lot of money to lose. And I was like, how long did it take you to lose it? He's like, one day. I was like, oh, that's crazy. But he also said, if I had held on to those stocks, I would have made more money later on. So when in terms of stock, right, hold it, and then sell when it's high. Buy low, sell when it's high. This is not financial advice. I'm just telling you, this is what we had to do with our, or this is what she did with our stock, so that way she can feel better about finances. All right, enough said.
Hold on. Go ahead, keep talking.
Okay. So yeah, that's it. That's all I had. What else you got? Oh, what else was a burden? What else was a financial
so
burden?
hold on. So just really quickly. So this captain who gave him financial advice, right, as a youth, he's the one who really kind of like woke us up to stocks because we didn't know about these things when we were younger. And I'm really glad we stumbled upon this knowledge. And I'm getting a text message while we're live. That's why I'm trying to.
Yeah. So this guy was very smart. You know, when you don't know, you're oblivious to it, right? But how are the largest transactions in the United States are generated through the stock market? Okay, so if you are watching this video and you have no knowledge about the stock market at all, I would encourage you to learn about it, right? There's a lot of YouTube videos, there's a lot of books that you can learn, and self-help stuff. Or you can go to like Edward Jones, you can go to Vanguard, you can go to all these places. Charles Schwab, they can walk you through the whole process. Now, okay, the next thing is compounding interest. What is that? If you don't know what compounding interest is, don't worry about it. Just put into stocks, index fund, right? The S&P 500, a stock that you believe in, and just put, $100 a week, $400 a month. If you can, $1,000 a month, and just watch it grow. And you get it from dividends. Make sure you buy stocks that have dividends. All right. So you were saying that's it.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay, so we gave you guys a little bit of a little scratch the surface there.
Just scratching the surface of some of the things, of our thought process and how we think and how we kind of like manage our finances.
Yeah, and so like I have a little bit of concern or like I'm not okay when we're not saving money. Like that's not okay to me. So when we go and we're spending, what comes in, and we're spending it, or maybe sometimes even more than what is going out, then it causes red flags for me. Okay. And so that's been some source of our struggle.
What else is a financial struggle for you?
Just kind of like transitioning from the Philippine peso or from the US dollar to peso, because I think it can like in your mind, you're thinking, oh, it's only like $6. Like that's not a big deal. But then when you find out like $6 is actually, like a person's whole day wage or even more than that, it's like, and then you're like, whoa, like it takes a Filipino one whole day to make what I just spent in 2 seconds, and like it's like, no, I shouldn't be spending that much money. I need to be smarter with our funds. So, my $60 trash cans were like a real big, like a sore, and like it was a sore conversation. Is like because I shouldn't have never bought a trash can that expensive.
It's not a sore conversation with me. It was just
I got
she's having these internal struggles with buying these trash cans that are like 6,000 piso. All right. So what else? What else is a financial struggle? Since you got here?
Financial?
Yeah, for you. What else is a struggle? What else was? Why was finances a struggle?
I mean, okay, so like my husband, he's like, I'm gonna save. Okay, so first of all, my husband does all these things in the house, and it's nice to sit in AC. And okay, yeah, we probably could like change the windows. Sure, that's like, all right. Well, let's remodel this bathroom. Okay, all right. Oh, we're building a whole nother structure. All right. Now that's the part where it was kind of like, whoa, what is happening here? Like, are we building the house of our dreams now? Are we like doing that piece? Because I thought we were just kind of like gonna take it easy here. And he's like, oh, there you go, Monica. She found us. There we
Awesome,
go.
awesome.
And so I was just like, well, my husband says, well, if I buy this and I start using it, but then I can start building because I can use it twice and then I can save money. I was like, dude, you're spending money to save money? Like, what? So it was just a cause of stress. And then like I kind of like threw it at him a couple times, which was not nice. And I don't want to be that kind of person either. So I was like really giving him a hard time about like some of the updates, and I wasn't being kind. And so that was actually probably the struggle that we had, where in our relationship, where he's feeling like, well, dang, like she's being kind of hard on me about it, and then I was, and I don't want to be that way.
But why?
I think it was just because of the fact that we didn't get those final checks, and I was just like feeling like we don't have enough coming in for the amount of construction you're doing, and now I'm selling stock.
Yeah. So do you guys know, right? This is not just what is the number one? What is the number one argument that couples have when they're married or just in a relationship? Do you guys know? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's finances. Okay, so if you have your finances in check, right, then you're good to go.
You'll find other things to argue about.
You'll find other things to argue about.
But one of the main things that causes like real big problems in marriages is finances.
Mm-hmm. It is. And so for me, like her priorities are different from my priorities. This is the stuff that she had to struggle with, and my struggles are totally different. So anything else you want to add to your stuff and the finances?
No.
Right, so the last thing was construction.
Yeah.
Right. So now we start with my list. Right? So
Over
what are
this.
some things? What are some things that I struggle
The guy list.
Here's the guy list, right? Here is the guy list. Oh wait, no, you have more. You have more
I have
stuff.
more things.
Yeah,
He took notes.
I did.
What? Prompt me.
Medical issues and stuff.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So here's another struggle first.
So medical. Okay, let's talk about this because first of all, I am the one with a major injury from the military. Like I need care and I'm not able to get it. We haven't been able to find the right doctor to help me. So I do deal with a lot of pain throughout the day. And like if I do too much, I'm just like done. So anyways, I need to do medical, right, for me, but also my son started to have something go on with him. And it was, I noticed when we were at dinner that his eye was red. And I said, hey, let me look at your eye. And it looked like it was infected. And I was like, oh no, I think he has pink eye or something. And so we went to the pharmacy, and the pharmacist said, "Oh, we can't help you. You gotta," like, they sold us some eye drops, and I read about them, and some of the chemicals in the eye drops is what they use to like poison people with, if they were like to ingest it. And I was like, oh no, I'm not having this poison in my house. I got rid of it right away, because I was sold something like that. And then because in Philippines everything's kind of like a little different when it comes to like medications and seeing the doctor. And so at some point in the day, I was just like, I cannot take this anymore. We are taking our son to the doctor. I don't care how much it costs. I am not going to allow him to have like this red eye. And so we took him out of school. We took him down to the local like Filipino health clinic, and it didn't even take 5 minutes. They just took my word for whatever I said, and they prescribed him antibiotic on the spot. And then I took the prescription over to the pharmacy, and I was able to get another bottle of antibiotics. And then I just fed it to my son for the next week and a half, and then his eyes healed.
Yeah, and that's when we learned that students here in Philippines get medical care for free.
For free. Yeah, that's when we learned that, because I was like, oh, how much is this going to cost? And they're like, oh, no, it's free. He's a student. He gets it for free. And I was like so grateful, and I wished I had taken him to the doctor sooner. I was feeling kind of like foolish, but it was only one day later from the day I saw his eye, and like I took him to the pharmacy. I could have probably taken him to the doctor that night, but I didn't know everything that was going on, and it just kept bothering me that my son was at school with his pink eye. And come to find out, the entire school, like this was going around the school because people were calling in sick daily, from the pink eye thing. And you can see it in the Facebook, talks with the families. Everybody's like, oh, they call it sore eye out here, sore eye, sore eye. So lo and behold, time passes, maybe like a week or two passes, and then I need some medication. But I go to the pharmacy and I'm like, hey, can I get this medication? It's over the counter.
In the U.S., it's over the counter.
In the U.S., it's over the counter. But here in the Philippines, you have to go see a doctor. And I was like, dang, like, I'm like, how do we get me to a doctor? Like, do I need to go through the VA? And I'm like, we need to go to the VA. I'm looking up TRICARE. I'm trying to get into TRICARE so I can get a doctor. And then at this point, I'm just like, oh, well, let me see. So then what I did is I went to the pharmacy and I looked up the prescription or the over-the-counter medication in the United States, and I showed them the ingredients. And I said, can I get any of these ingredients? And they're like, oh, you can get this ingredient. And so I was able to get that ingredient, and then I just kind of crossed my fingers that I would like start to heal and get better. And then and it did work. And I was like, oh, thank God, because this is like, I did not want to go to a doctor when I couldn't figure out TRICARE. I didn't want to go all the way to Manila to deal with the VA. And it was just like, how do we get anything like, like the medical stuff was really hard for us here as well, for me at least. My husband doesn't really have any physical or medical issues. It's me who has to deal with the pain and things like that. So yeah, it's a struggle.
I do have medical issues. I just don't show it.
You don't show it.
Yeah. So Monica just came on. Monica Aguilar 2790 has a question for us, and she says, how long have you guys been living in the Philippines? Can U.S. medicine be mailed to you guys?
So U.S. medicine can be mailed here, but to mail something, it takes like about a month. So if I can't get this medical stuff figured out within a month, I'm screwed, right?
Well, she's talking about like a package, right? Like a buying package. But yeah. I'm pretty sure you can use FedEx and things like that. It just takes
about 2 weeks.
1 to 2 weeks, okay? Because we just sent my cousin his Philippines jersey.
Did he get it yet?
He got it like 3 days later.
Oh, wow.
DHL, yeah.
Okay, so DHL or FedEx Express.
We sent it through FedEx.
Now you can get some things, and so yay! Hi, Justice Sweetie. It's good to see you.
So just going back real quick, right? You were talking about construction and property, like on the property, right? So I wanted to ask you a question regarding the construction.
Oh,
right?
I guess we're no longer talking about medical anymore.
No. Whenever you're done, are you done with the medical stuff?
I guess.
I'm just asking.
We're done with the medical,
Okay.
guys.
So let's just go back real quick, right? With the construction, it has to do with finances, right?
Okay.
How do you feel? Would you? Why is it that you resent the fact that we were improving the house?
Well, okay, so I mean, it's a personal, like an internal thing because I know that we were coming here, we're coming to his family home. This is a generational home. And, you know, there's just been some kind of things that make me feel like maybe this is not my house, like our house. And like, so we're gonna come here, we're gonna live here, and I'm just like basically a guest here. And like like any improvement that we make on the home or any kind of money that we pour into the house is just gonna be kind of like a giveaway because this is not our home, you know? And so like that's kind of like where I was mentally with it. So like when he's building all these extra things and I'm just like, you know, they're, you know, like we're not gonna, you know, like the property isn't ours, like they're gonna take it away from us and we're just gonna leave all this stuff behind and you know, that kind of thing. That's kind of like what I dealt with internally. So
what are the chances of that happening?
Well, the house is my husband's home, okay? Like the title is my husband's title. Like he's the only one on the title.
So what are the chances of that happening? Your fears, right? We're going about fears here.
Well, I guess I mean there is a slight chance that, you know, there could be family members who want this property. But the only way that they could get it is if he were to be like, okay, fine, you can. But at the moment, like my husband's like, no, this house is going to our son. Like this is our family home and it's getting passed down generation to generation through the through our lineage, just like it did from years and years and years. And I was like, oh, okay, so I should just probably like lay that to rest. Like I'm not gonna get kicked out of my house when my husband passes before me. I'm gonna have nowhere to live.
Yeah, so culturally, right? So it's all about like religion and respect, and so that's one of the things my mom was like, hey, that house, that's Hero's house. That's my grandson's house. I was like, oh, okay, sure, mom. So respectfully, you know, I have to follow what she says and things like that. That's just culturally, that's how Filipinos are, right? Your parents have a lot to say on the things that they provide to you, right? Even though it's under your name, they have a lot to say about it. Like even the house, the family home that we have in the United States, right? Like my mom decided that like, hey, you know what? That house is not going to go to your sister. It's not going to go to you, right? It's initially it was just under me, and then she's like, nope, that's your brother's house. So well, sure, no problem. So I give it to my brother, and that's his home, right? And which is I don't, you know what I mean? Like for me to argue about properties and family, that's just like that's dumb, right? You know, there's no. I'm like, yeah, sure, no problem. I can make my own stuff. I'm financially secure. So yeah, no issues there. I think that's a struggle that she had to deal with until it like was eating at her, and then she finally brought it up, and I was like, it's not even an issue. It's not even an issue, girl.
Yeah.
So now construction, right? Since we're into construction and finances, if you were to rent out a house here in Philippines with the same amenities that we
this house has
with the same amenities that we have put in place here, right? And the space that you have.
Yeah, this is a minimum like $1,000 home to rent.
Yeah,
minimum.
Right. The only thing it's missing is a gym and a pool.
And it's about to have a basketball court. So
half court, not full court, half court. Yeah, but it's still it's nice. You know,
it's a nice home. It's a nice home. Well appointed home, fully furnished. It's very nice.
Yeah.
We're very comfortable in this house.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that was the idea, was to come here, improve on the property, and definitely we can, you know.
Yeah, we can live
here comfortably. So we still have a plan to build a home here in the Philippines. We just haven't found the right lot yet. So we're
Right.
looking for the right lot. We want to live by the ocean. How far do you want to live by the ocean?
I'd say like no more than a 5-minute drive, but
Or
maybe
a 10-minute
like
walk.
a 10-minute walk.
Yeah.
But I do understand that some areas get flooded real easy. So
Mhm.
that's kind of a concern, is the flooding possibility by the ocean.
So, we're still looking for that beach lot. I have family in the Ilocos area up north that are saying like, hey, we have a beach lot over here. If you want it, it's yours. And then
Yeah.
there's also some cheap land in Palawan. And so
Yeah.
we're also going to be going to
We've
Palawan.
got a lot of family who are saying they've got some beach lots that we should go check out
should
and
go check
see.
out. And then I have an auntie, right?
Yes.
She's in Cebu. Hi, auntie. She says she's got land that's for sale over there. I was like, well, can I get the family discount? Right?
No,
And she's like,
they
no,
want top dollar.
they want top dollar for it. So I don't know. I was just teasing her. I wasn't really gonna purchase the land from her because it's her family land, right?
Yeah.
And if you're not aware, properties here are called haciendas. They're on haciendas. There's like a mother title, and the mother title has like 5 hectares, and 1 hectare is equivalent to 2.5 acres. So they're big. They're huge. And so what happens is like the families, they just stay on the land. They work the land. They till the land. They become farmers. And then as their family grow, they build on the hacienda. They build on the hacienda.
There's like literally neighborhoods of families here.
Yeah.
Okay, so
it's like, okay.
And it's our family. It's so interesting because like anywhere in the neighborhood we can walk, we can see the family name. And there's about 4 or 5 like family names within our family.
Let me give you some perspective, okay? If you are into anime and you know about Naruto, okay, they have their clans. Here in the Philippines, there are clans, right? Like they have the same last name and they're all in the same neighborhood.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, oh yeah, well that one went over there, and I went over here. Like the Hyuga clan. There's like a Hyuga clan out here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's not the last name Hyuga. It's something else.
Yeah.
Right? But they're all in the same compound.
And we're all related.
They're all like they call it compound, right? Because it's in the hacienda. They built a fence around it, and their entire family lives there. So when the boys get married, they bring their wives over, and their family just continue to grow. The boys continue to bring women over, and they continue to grow in that area. So
what's interesting is like this morning we went for a walk, and in our walk we saw his uncle, we saw like 2-3 cousins, like we passed like a whole families of neighborhoods, like everybody knows us and says hi, and we're all related. My husband's related to everybody. Even my son's classmates are, the person who sits next to him is his cousin.
It's his cousin.
Yeah.
What's interesting is like his mom is my classmate.
Oh yeah, so you went to school with her.
I went to school with
her.
her.
So if we're not related somehow, then we all went to school together or something, right?
And
well,
like,
not me, but
my classmates are now teachers at the school. And it's so funny. So you had like one more struggle that you dealt with, and it was regarding the kids.
What regarding the kids? What?
Like returning to school after.
Oh well, okay. So, I mean, because the school system is so different here, like it's like my kids would be like, well, I don't want to go back to school after lunch. So like for instance, I can get my kids to school on time in the morning. They're motivated, they're excited, but then they come home for lunch for 2 hours. So then after they've been home for lunch, they kind of like cool down. It's AC. We had lunch. Maybe they want to take a little nap, or they want to take a shower, and they don't want to go back to school. And so like it's a struggle, like trying to help them find the motivation to get back into the classroom. And sometimes my kids will go back to school and like try and take a nap in class. And then I'll get called by a teacher and be like, hey, your son's sleeping. I'll be like, okay, guys, look, we need to be serious here. It is school time. You guys need to like jump on the bandwagon here. We are doing education. And so like sometimes it's just like kind of real easy for them to get away with stuff with the school because, well, they're the new students in the school. They speak like really good English. They don't understand the Filipino. And so it's kind of like, they kind of get away with a little bit more, like a little bit more whiny, like a little bit more complaining. The teacher will call me, and I'm like, no, you know. There was one situation where the toilet seat at school, there's no toilet seat, and so Hero needed to take a number 2. And so the teacher called us and like, hey, your son wants to go home to use the bathroom. And, like, okay, so we went and picked him up, brought him home so he could use the toilet. Then the very next day he did it again. But I was like, I want to see that poo boy. He didn't want to really come out. And I'm like, every day to take a poop. Like, you needed to at school, like this is poor behavior, and it stops today. So from then on, he stopped playing that game. But sometimes he'll play the game like, oh, my stomach hurts. Like, no, we're not doing that, bud. Your stomach doesn't really hurt. You need to finish out the school day. So they're just kind of trying to find excuses to come home. Just because it's like, it's not like there's an attendance lady who's doing truancy here. That's kind
of. They don't have a truancy officer?
There's no truancy officer.
Nah. Okay. That's cool. I think that's all her struggles.
Yeah.
Whew. Wow. It took us 55 minutes to go through all your struggles. It took us 55 minutes to get through all her struggles.
But look, there's 9 people here. Hit the like button, guys. And this is the most we've had in like a long time.
Okay, here we go.
I think we hit 11 at one point. That was the highest.
Here we go, guys.
Thank you.
I am going to talk about my struggles now, but I guess we'll save my struggles next time.
No.
It's already been an hour.
No, people are here. They want to hear it.
Okay, so guys struggles. I would say, to me, like, male roles are different from female roles. And so responsibilities are shared, but the way I think about problems here in Philippines is totally different, right? So as a guy, what do I have to think about? Safety, security, right? Food. And that's it. That's all I'm worried about. Everything else is fun and like, hey, yeah, I want to build construction over here. I want to do that. I want to do this. Do I worry about finances? Of course, right? And we'll start with that one, finances. So during the construction process, I did struggle a little bit with finances. And the finances that I dealt with is that I felt like some of these guys that are doing work or offering or I'm buying something for the construction stuff, I feel like I'm getting got. Like, I feel like the prices are up, like, or I'm getting the foreigner tax or whatever it is. And so I've had to kind of like deal with this internal struggle on my own. And I think she knows it a little bit. We talk about it. And so my question now remains is, okay, maybe the price is high, maybe the price is low. Sometimes here it's a part of culture that you have to haggle for the price. And sometimes you win and sometimes you lose. I think last night I bought.
Yesterday we had a win.
Yeah, we had a win. I bought a chainsaw and I saved it was 6,500 and I only bought it for 6,000. Maybe it's still up from that, but for me, that's a win, right? So the question I always ask myself, or I have learned to ask myself is, do I need this done, right? Do I really need the windows inside, like to replace the windows? Yeah, I need to replace the windows. So do I need to pay for this much? Yes, of course. Okay. Do I need to pay the installer this much money to get the AC units installed? Yeah, I do. Why? Because I don't want to go back, you know what I mean, and have to pay somebody else and all kinds of struggles, right? I just do. I need to have it. I need to do those things. So for me, financially, those are the struggles that I have because I feel like I'm getting got. But as I look back and I look at the construction that's happening, I'm happy with the outcome, right? And the thing is, the kids are now like enjoying the property, enjoying the house. They're enjoying the property so much that they don't even want to leave the house. They're like, hey guys, come on, let's go to SM. We're gonna go play here, or go play with a puppy, or whatever. They're like, nah, I don't want to do that. I'm like, what?
Let's just stay home. Let's just stay home.
But they're so comfortable here in this house now. I'm so happy that I've made it comfortable for them. That's number one, financial. Number two, I would say it has to do with my role as a father, right? I struggled because my kids were whining like the first few days that we were here in the Philippines because they hasn't started school yet. And they were whining. They're like, oh, it's hot. We don't have AC. I'm having a hard time sleeping. Like it's uncomfortable. The food here. I miss my friends. I do this and I do that, right? So as a father, right, what is my responsibility? I need to provide an environment conducive, right, to my children's safety, security, and for their growth. And if I'm not providing that, then I'm doing something wrong. And I had that struggle in the very beginning because my kids were complaining. But once the AC was installed, once the windows were installed, once the house is kind of like getting fixed and they were starting to go to school and they started making friends, all those things went away, right? The reason why it's a struggle for me is because somewhere in the back of my head, right, there's a timeline that I want to stay here in the Philippines, right? How long are we staying here, right? And we've said, okay, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. But from my perspective, if my family is not happy here in the Philippines, I'm not going to force them to do that. That's one. Number two, for safety purposes, if I feel like my family is unsafe, we're going to leave Philippines, right? There's nothing that I have spent here that I can't gain again, right?
Yeah, but the other thing too is like we left America with the intent to stay here long term because we brought our whole house with us. Like we left nothing behind. Like yeah, I'm sure we left like our washer and our dryer in Econics, you know, and there's a couple other things that we didn't ship here. But for the most part, we've got all our stuff. 76 Balik Bayan boxes. That's a lot of stuff. We didn't plan on going back right away.
Next thing, right, is transportation. Again, as my role, right, safety, security, a safe environment, and food. So transportation was a big deal, right? We couldn't get around. We couldn't buy anything when the kids were struggling. I couldn't take them to SM or get cooled off in a mall. We couldn't do any of that. So until I got transportation pretty much done, it was kind of a struggle. And so that was like something that I had to deal with. It was very difficult. So I kind of like had to wait 17 days to get the transportation done. But now that we have our transportation, everything is good to go. Let me see. What else? What else do I have? The last thing, right? I would say, I think I've said it a few times that my wife is my stress, right? So when my wife is having difficulties, my wife is having problems, right? As a guy, I can't really struggle. I can't really like ridicule her, and I can't be like, well, you have to suck it up and do all these things, right? I have to do my part to kind of listen, right? So if my wife is kind of like the water, I have to be the rock that her emotions kind of crash against, right? I have to be the one that's kind of stable in the family, and so and what I do oftentimes to calm her down is to basically like, hey, let's focus on our goals. Let's think about how we can resolve this problem and move forward from here. So there you go. I finished my list in 7 minutes. So it was 55 minutes. Now it is an hour and 2 minutes. And so Monica, I think for the house tour, the home tour, you're gonna have to wait for it until we
done with the construction.
We're finished with the construction. But yeah,
it was so good to see everybody come in.
I think that's pretty much
so
it.
Much. If you're not subscribed,
that's our struggles here in the Philippines, right? So thank you for joining us. Carpe diem.
Seize the day, guys. Live your dreams.